Hey, what's up everybody, this is me24, and today I'm going to be taking a look at some of the Evangelion Portrait Series figures that I have. I bought a couple last year when I went to Youmacon, and this year I decided to add a few more to that collection. There were a couple that I wanted to get that I just didn't jump on early enough, and kind of waited till this last day to see if maybe they dropped in price, and by that point they were gone. But anyways, all the ones I was looking at were 3.0 figures, and obviously these ones are as well. I never had a Mari portrait figure, and while I like her green jumpsuit well enough, her pink jumpsuit in 3.0 is the one that I really liked, and I think this just pose for her really kind of defines her personality pretty well. The boxes are a little bit different than the old ones were. We have kind of just this very simple yet refined look to the package with this little pattern here on the side and the figure on the front. You have the figure's face there on the top. You have a description of who the character is, what Eva they pilot, and of course the fact that it's from Eva 3.0. And then you have some other figures in this series. Now, every portrait series, if you will, has like 4 to 6 different characters that they do, and it's sort of like they cycle through them with any sort of gashapon. Like, okay, here's series number 1, series number 2, series number 3. I don't know what series number they are on at the moment, but I do know that these are the 3.0 one specifically. Like, everything that came before this was, I believe, mostly rebuild figures and maybe a couple from the original series, but these ones are the 3.0 Portrait Series figures, so that's how you'll know they're different from the other ones, is the box art says 3.0. The box art is done a little bit differently. Here's just kind of a spin around of Mari's box, and it looks like this series is just 4 figures, being the 4 that you see here. I was going to start naming characters, but I didn't want to spoil stuff for anyone who hasn't seen 3.0 yet. So anyways, Mari and Asuka are the 2 that I got here. They both look very nice. There's a lot of detail that goes on in these figures, and as far as like what they're made of, it's like kind of a PVC-ish plastic. It's hard enough that they can keep their pose, but they're not going to just break if you start moving them around a little bit there. Like I can wiggle their feet still. You do get pretty much 5 pieces between these 2 figures. Well, 5 pieces each for these 2 figures. You get the head, you get the body, and then you get the 3 pieces that make up the stand. The base, the little pole here, and the connector to the leg. And honestly, you really don't need this connector thing there to have the figure stay up well enough. Though I did just pop her off the base because I pulled a little too hard there. Because really they do stand fine on their own. It's just kind of there for a little bit added support if you want that. But there's a lot of nice detail here on the figure, between her head with the glasses and everything there, as well as the colors that went into the plug suit, and the back and the front to there. Both look really nice. And then as far as Asuka is concerned, I think the thing that stands out the most to me is the fact that her plug suit, the paint app, looks more shiny and sort of glossy there, when compared to her jacket, which is more of a flat coat paint there, which is really nice in sort of making those look like they're more textured, or at least different textures from one another. And then if you get close up on her face there, you can see the eye patch. The hat's really nice with the little pins there on the front, and the hair looks pretty good there on the back. That's basically, I guess before I wrap this up, you do get little symbols on these bases. The other ones, the bases were either black or orange, and I don't know if the orange ones were like special pulls or a second run of that figure or what the deal was, but some of them were orange, some of them were black. These ones, they are clear with a little logo of each character, or relative to each character there on the base itself. So you got Mari's glasses and then Asuka's pins for her hat. But I really like the way these figures look. They're not terribly expensive. I think they run like 800 yen, something in that range. So getting them in the States will be $10, $12-ish, depending on if you get them online or at a con. But I really like them. They're nice, they're cheap, they're very good looking as far as the the model or the sculpt, and the paint app is concerned. And they're pretty durable too. It's not like you're just gonna bump it and feel like something's gonna break constantly. They're very well made for what they are. So I recommend them if you want to find something that's cheap and easy to start a collection for Eva figures. I don't know if the Portrait Series has any other franchises they make figures for, but I know that the Eva ones, there's quite a few options for you between the main cast of characters and even some of the less important characters that you might not think of right off the top of your head, like Fuyutsuki, the different versions of Mari and Rei and Asuka, like their school uniforms and stuff. Misato, I think, has at least one or two Portrait Series figures. So there's just a lot of different options you have there, and they all have different poses and stuff too, so that's always really cool. But there are a few other Portrait Series figures that I want to get in the future, namely 3.0 Black Plug Suit Rei, and I want to get a rebuild Kaoru figure at some point too. But that's pretty much it for this review, if you will, and with that, I will see you guys next time.